Hi everyone, a big welcome back to my channel. So I love independent publishers. Over the past few years, I have been intentionally branching out from just reading books from the big five publishers: Penguin, Hachette, HarperCollins, Simon & Schuster, and Macmillan. This has been the most liberating, exciting, insightful experience. It has revolutionized my reading. Independent publishers now make up probably over half of all of my reading and a lot of my favorite publishers. As such, I wanted to make a video all about some of my favorite independent publishers in case you haven't heard of them and you want to go and check them out. I will tell you a bit about them, what kind of stuff they publish, some of my favorite things from their lists. Info and links will be down below in the description box. Also, I definitely intend to make this a series on my channel because I have so many more independent publishers that I love and could talk about endlessly. So first up, we have Dead Ink Books. Dead Ink are one of my favorite publishing houses of all time. This team is publishing seriously good literature. Dead Ink describe themselves as being small, ambitious, and experimental. They mainly publish literary fiction and they are based in Liverpool. Everything I read from Dead Ink surprises me and challenges me and totally entertains me. The books they publish are incredibly accomplished and perceptive. I love the societal topics they explore in totally inventive and unabashed ways. A lot of the books that Dead Ink publish also have a strangeness to them, a quirkiness. They are not afraid to push boundaries and make readers feel uncomfortable, which I love. One of my favourite authors that they publish is Lucy McKnight Hardy. I have read her short story collection Dead Relatives, which takes you behind many closed doors. Also, her debut novel Water Shall Refuse Them. This is set in a heatwave in the 1970s in Wales. It explores grief and rural life and witchcraft. Lucy is a folk horror writer whose writing is so distinct and suspenseful. Both of these books are some of the most delicious, thrilling, enthralling fiction that I've ever read. Dead Ink's other novel, The Deloriad by Masuri Williams, is also just as fascinating. This is set during the aftermath of an environmental disaster and it follows one family descended from incest. This is a dark, unsettling exploration of depravity and salvation and humanity's unbreaking commitment to life. This publisher is really doing things. You need them in your life, I swear. Next, we have Nine Arches Press. Nine Arches are an amazing poetry publisher, one of my go-tos for new contemporary poetry. They're based in the West Midlands, and as well as publishing, they run creative workshops and masterclasses and open mic nights. This publisher just aligns with my poetry reading tastes so well. I can always rely on them. Their poetry is societally and politically aware, often deeply personal, but exploring wider topics too. I find the poetry to be very accessible, full of beautiful wordplay and lots of vivid, colourful imagery. One of my favourite poetry collections is What Girls Do in the Dark by Rosie Garland. This plunges you deep into outer space, exploring themes of identity and transformation and science. Outer space is used to explore inner space and self-identity and bodies in the most beautiful, spectacular way. I also really love Single Window by Daniel Sluman. This explores the first-hand experience of a disabled couple in 2016 when they are confined to their home. This collection is comprised of poetry and photographs. It explores fear and isolation and our shitty British government in the most intimate and tender ways. If you love contemporary poetry or want to get into reading more contemporary poetry, I can't recommend Nine Arches Press enough. Next up, we have Fitzgeraldo Editions. Fitzgeraldo Editions specialise in contemporary fiction and long-form essays. They are very well known for their beautiful blue covers and their translated fiction. All of the praise is well deserved. I've been getting more and more into reading translated fiction over the past couple of years, and some of the absolute best come from this publishing house. I feel like everything they publish on their list is so carefully and specifically chosen. I desperately need to explore more of their back catalogue, as well as dipping my toes into their essays, which I believe are the white covers. Paradise by Fernanda Melchor, translated by Sophie Hughes, was one of my best reads of last year. It tells the story of two poor Mexican teenage boys who hatch a gruesome scheme, exploring themes of classism, desires, and hardship. The writing in here is so chilling and relentless. This is one of the most captivating and totally intoxicating reading experiences I have ever had. Another favourite of mine is Drive Your Plough Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Tokarczuk, translated by Antonia Lloyd-Jones. This is a literary noir crime novel set in a small Polish town. It tells the story of an eccentric 60-something woman as multiple hunters in the town turn up dead. This is steady and contemplative and very character focused. A fascinating look at nature, sanity, and justice. They are a beautiful publisher publishing beautiful work, and we all know we need to be reading more translated fiction. Next up, we have And Other Stories. And Other Stories are a Sheffield-based publishing house publishing a whole bunch of contemporary writing, including translations. They aim to introduce readers to inspiring and adventurous writing, and are also pushing northern voices, trying to make publishing less London-centric. So And Other Stories were actually one of the first independent publishers I really got into. I started reading them a few years ago, and they really started my independent publishing reading journey, which I will always be grateful for. Their list is pretty extensive now. They publish contemporary writers, 20th century writers, fiction, essays, poetry, translated fiction. They do so much, and they do it all so well. The first book that I discovered from And Other Stories was Something Like Breathing by Angela Redman. This follows two teenage girls in the 1950s as they become friends on a remote Scottish island. I totally fell in love with this book. The beautiful writing, the whimsical atmosphere, the examination of small, tightly knit communities. It's one of the few magical realism books that I've truly, truly loved. I also have to mention Boulder by Eva Baltazar, translated by Julia Sanchez, another stunner from last year that is currently on the international booker list. It tells the story of two married women in Reykjavik who have a baby, although one of the women finds it to be nothing but thankless and alienating. Gorgeous, raw exploration of motherhood and freedom. This packs a massive punch. And Other Stories are just great, and they seem to be going from strength to strength. And the final indie publishing house that we're going to talk about today is Carcanet. Carcanet is another amazing publisher that publishes a whole range of books. I believe they were actually founded in the 1960s as a literary magazine. While they are made up of many imprints that publish fiction and non-fiction and classics, I personally love Carcanet first and foremost for their gorgeous imprint, Carcanet Poetry. I love exploring Carcanet's poetry list every single season. They publish such amazing quality poetry, from new contemporary poets to well-celebrated poets of the past. I have discovered so many poets that I love through this publishing house that I probably wouldn't have discovered otherwise. Everything about this publishing house is just classy, from the cover design to the poets that they publish. One of my favourite collections from Carcanet is Fleet by Judith Wilson. This explores the life of a real woman who lived in the mid-1800s in England and her husband who sold exotic birds. We have themes of elusive histories, imperial power, migration, and so much more. This is the most seamless, fluid, beautiful collection. It is grounded in realness, but transgresses into universality and secrets and silences. Also, the bird imagery in here is dazzling. I also totally love Runaway by Jory Graham. This explores our potential future in light of climate change and social disruption. It explores what will survive, what love is, what self-identity is, what it is to be human. It is totally stunning. What a poet. If you're a poetry lover at all, then you need to have Carcanet books on your shelves. You just need them. So there we go. Those were 5 of my favorite independent publishers and some of my favorite books from their lists. I really hope you all enjoyed this video. I know it's a bit different coming at it from the publishers rather than from genres or themes. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it insightful. I really hope you'll go out and check out these amazing, amazing publishers and check out their books. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I appreciate it so much. Please chat to me down below about your favorite independent publishers. If there are any I haven't heard of or any particular books that I should read, I would love to hear about them. Thanks everyone, and hopefully see you really, really soon in another video.